Hi guys, hope everyone is doing well. Today I'm going to show you a few items I've picked up recently, some wonderful items, and I'm pretty pleased. So without further ado, I did a swap for this wonderful domino, very large, 12-inch, never seen one before. It was a bit pitted off my buddy John in Northern Ireland, and he kindly let me swap this wrench. I cleaned it up, but it is a bit of a pit monster, but it completed the set of 5 sizes, I believe. And then I looked on eBay after this come in the post. I thought, oh, I'd check. And there was this one, identical, but in much nicer condition, a little bit of an easier life. The only drawback is got a little cross, some owner's mark. And this one's got no owner's mark, but it's obviously had a harder life. 1051, very rare. You don't see the 12-inch ones, much larger than the other sizes. So I was super pleased with that. And then a chap who has got also a collector, Andrew, had these 4 items here. This wonderful early British wrench here. We've got this Durham's patent, which I do already have, but it's a great size. This is the 10-inch, and I already have the 6 and the 8 of Durham's patent from 1860. Quite an unusual wrench, but I was really pleased. He had this wonderful little footprint here, missing the screw. And I already had one, which I got, but this one had this, but this is much finer condition. So I decided to swap the screw and give Andrew's version the screw, even though it's actually off this one, because it does appear to be a much nicer condition. So that's a great addition to my footprint collection. And then we got this wonderful Neil's patent, and it says on it push to, and obviously you slide it. It's got a little spring inside, and it's reversible with teeth and not teeth. And this is a completely new design, Neil's patent. I've never seen it before. I was quite excited. I do have some Neil's patent. We have probably the winning design with the lever, which you can see where this has come from. And then we have Neil's patent design, such as these 2 here, which are also Neil's patent. This one is particularly rare. And then we have the Neil's Clyburn as well, which are all marked Neil's. Neil's rather fantastic company from 1891, the reversing spanner. And I believe this to be a new example of a Neil's patent, which is fantastic. It's only a shame it wasn't found when Ron had a book, because this is a new design. So really excited about that one. Super cool. Really pleased. Thank you, Andrew. And then here we got a job lot. I got this one on eBay, paid a fortune for it considering the condition, but I got this one from Ron, and this is a new addition. It looks like it's had an aftermarket repair where the rivet has fallen out, but kind of cool. And I only found this one, so this is the smaller version, and there is a much bigger version of that, but really cool. So doing really well on the footprint. And then the pièce de résistance, my good buddy Michael found this advertisement with the engineer spanner domino. We've got this one here, which I have an example of, and this one. This is a back rack. Never seen a back rack with domino on it. And the advertisement is good and cheap. So it's pretty cool. So I was really pleased with that. So this is an original advertisement on paper. It does come with its original string from October 1903. And it's absolutely magical. And I liked it so much, I had copies made, because I don't want to display this one. So I had them printed on foam board and then printed copied. So I had a few of them made. I sent one to my buddy Michael for finding the wonderful advertisement in the first place. Really nice. And it's nice that it's, oopsie daisy, it's nice that it's got its original print, so it's got the date, and these can be displayed without fear of any damage to the original, which I can keep. I'm going to reattach the string, the original string which it came with, and then put this away so it doesn't get damaged. And I'm planning on visiting the footprint factory hopefully in the summer with Alex when he comes to visit, and I'm going to give them one of these copies for their prosperity, because I don't believe they have a copy of this advertisement. It's quite an early one, being 120 years old. So that was really cool. Thank you, Michael, ever so much for finding that, because I'm not sure I would have found it and it would have been a real loss. Then my buddy Joe found this, which appears to be owned by R. Smith, probably Robert Smith, that's my guess. And it's a magnificent example of a Van Dooley's patent. You have Van Dooley's of Holland, a Van Dooley's patent, and really, really cool. So super cool. I have a bunch of these Van Dooley's. I really like them. I think they're fantastic. So yeah, super pleased with that. So really nice to add another edition, especially in such nice condition and an owner's mark. So thank you, Joe. Really appreciate that. Super nice to have another Van Dyles to add to the collection. And then apart from my footprint finds and what I got from Andrew, I did kind of had a bit of buyer's remorse. I can't say it was like a drunken episode, as I'm teetotal, but I was on Tradera, the Swedish website, and I saw this, which I thought, oh, cool, but I do already have one, so I wasn't quite sure why I bought it. It was in a big job lot. In the job lot was this German one as well, DRGM, with the tools in the bottom, which I've cleaned up, and it did come with a big pile of rusty tools, so I will show you those as well. But yeah, so I'm really pleased with the new footprint editions, especially the advertisement. A nice clean version of this, which is a particularly unusual design, and I'm super pleased with the Neil's patent push to reversing spanner, which is a completely new design, and I've never seen it before, and this will go in my Neil's drawer. So yeah, super pleased with that. Let's get these put away and I'll show you the other items. All right, bye. Right guys, so I've decided to put Joe's new #1 up there, and then put the overflow ones into this drawer. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Thank you, Joe. And then over here we've got the footprint overflow drawer and our Neil's patent. So we've got this wonderful, rather nice Neil's patent. So we'll pop that in there. And then we've got this wonderful new edition double, which is fantastic. So we'll put that in there, which is rather nice. And then here we've got our Baco E.A. Berg Eskilstuna Sweden tools, so we'll stick that one in there with those. Nice fit. Right, so we've got this wonderful new edition here, the German one, which I've cleaned up. Over here is the tools I was talking about, the job lot. Lots and lots of Swedish tools. A lot of them have been sort of adapted in some way or another for specialist purposes, but I've no use for these tools. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those, but the two I did want, the two clean ones, are going to go quite nice in this drawer. I've noticed I've got this one here which appears to be almost the same, but this one's missing the bottom, so I've got a nicer edition. This one's bigger and this one's even bigger still, so yeah, pretty pleased with that one. And then over on this side we've got our wonderful sort of main drawer for the footprint domino tools. And then here we've got the new edition just here of the really nice condition one from Andrew, and then we've got the wonderful new one I found on eBay as well. The other ones in the overflow drawer I got off John, so pretty pleased with that drawer as well. And then here we've got our wonderful early Timmins, and we've got this wonderful early Timmins Durham patent, slightly different head to this bigger one. In fact, this one kind of fits more with those three in the head shape, and this one's a slightly different one. Interesting. You can see the other design they made, which is this design here with the wheel instead of just the teeth to grip, so you got the fine adjustment. So I was pretty pleased with that. Let's move on to the other one. Right guys, so I've decided to put this wonderful advertisement copy just up here next to the wonderful sign my buddy Len made for me. Thank you, Len. We've got this Eclipse one, and we've got a couple of unusual Crescent and Utica ones up here, and this Nicholas file which Alex found. Thank you, Alex. So I think this is a nice addition up there. Really like those advertisements. I got so many of those sort of original advertisements. I think they're great. All right, so let's go to the garage. Right guys, so this is the end of my dribble drabble video. In the garden garage, we've got this wonderful English version of a brewer's patent. These all need a clean, but the brewer's patent from the 1880s or so, something like that. But I found this English one made in the UK, and then now we've got this another edition, slightly different way. This one's kept with a screw, and this one completely comes apart. I was pretty pleased with that. So I think that's the end of this video. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing what junk I've picked up recently. If you got this far, congratulations. You've got the patience of a saint. All right, bye.